Rim may be struggling to expand, but AT&T and Verizon not having any problem at all, at least in one area. The two major wireless carriers are plotting a huge challenge, not to other service providers, but to the credit card business. Joining us now is Peter Eichenbaum. Peter covers credit card companies for Bloomberg News, and he actually wrote the story that's out that talks about how the cell phone companies might be getting into this. This is a huge, huge business for Visa and MasterCard. Obviously, they control about 82% of U.S. consumer spending on cards. That was one of the stats in your story that was pretty unbelievable. So if the cell phone companies were to get aggressively into this business, that would be a big deal for Visa and MasterCard, wouldn't it? Yes,
if it works out that way. It remains to be seen whether or not the telephone companies are going to be able to do this. There are a lot of challenges.
So from the perspective of Visa and MasterCard, I mean, what do they do? Is there anything they can do to try and sort of prevent this from happening?
Well, they're not taking this lying down. Visa, for example, is working on their own application. They developed, this is an iPhone, they've developed an iPhone case where you can actually embed a chip and basically do the same thing on the iPhone now. And you'll probably be seeing this coming out this year.
How many credit cards are we talking about in Americans' wallets?
I think it's about an average is about three.
Three
plastic cards if you're talking about credit and debit.
So on the whole, at least the number in your story, it says it could supplant more than 1 billion plastic cards.
That's right.
Why now?
Well, over time.
Why now? Why was this something that these companies decided to do now?
You're talking about the telephone companies. Yeah. It's just time. I mean,
the technology exists.
It's coming, and people want it. I woke up the other day, and all of a sudden I can deposit a check on my iPhone, and that's worth something if you don't have to schlep to the ATM.
So, I mean, you said if it works. I mean, where are we sort of in figuring out the technology and perhaps the cell phone companies getting close to this on one side and Visa and MasterCard developing this on the other side?
Yeah, one of the complications is that there are so many players involved, and especially in the U.S., the payment system now is pretty sophisticated, and it works well. So you really have to create a value for the merchant to want to invest in the readers, which is pretty costly. So that's one of the barriers.
So it's not happening tomorrow, in other words. It's going to take a few years for this to get going?
Well, some people would say that, and others would say it'll happen before you know it. It'll be upon us.
Peter, could I ask you quickly, are we getting any word from the credit card companies on how they feel about this possible venture?
Visa and MasterCard?
Yeah, what are they saying?
Not commenting on the venture. No, but I mean, they do say that they're doing things themselves. They're rolling out pilots and trials in Europe, which is a little ahead of the United States.
All right, Peter Eichenbaum, the story on the terminal from you and Margaret Collins, AT&T Verizon to target Visa, MasterCard with phones. Peter, thanks so much. Appreciate it.